Today we're going to be talking about area of triangles. So first, let's explain how we even find the area of a triangle. And then of course we know that there's a shortcut to calculating for area of triangles. And so we will explain that as well. First, you see here we have a square, and that square is made up of units. So we have 1 unit here, 2 units there, 3 and 4. So this is actually 4 square units. Okay? We also could do it another way. We can look and see that the length is 2 units and the width is also 2 units. So we can multiply 2 of the length times the width, which is 2. 2 times 2 gives us 4 square units, or 4 units squared with a little exponent 2 up there. Okay? But that is when we're dealing with a square or a rectangle. We are actually looking at triangles, which the reason why I showed you about the squares is because it's going to help us dealing with the triangles. So here we have our square, and if you notice, we can take the square and we can go straight down the middle diagonally. And we could do either diagonal, it doesn't matter. We just happen to do that way. Okay? So when we do that, we now want to look at the area that's just filled in on either this left side, or we could do this in green, whatever's on that right side in green. Okay? But let's take a look at our left side because we used pink initially. Alright, so here we go. We're only looking now at this area now outlined in pink. And remember, the area is actually the amount on the inside, but I just didn't scribble it in because we're going to need to see those squares. Okay? So now the area is again about what's on the inside. So we're going to look at our squares and count how many squares we have that makes up the area. So we come here and we highlight this in pink. Okay, that's 1 unit. Then over here we actually have a half of a square. So that's 1/2. We're adding to that. Then over here we have another half. So plus 1/2 again. So we have 1 full square and then 2 half squares, which makes up a full square. So essentially we really have 1 plus 1, which equals 2 square units, or again 2 units squared. Okay? So the area of our triangle is actually half of that of the area of our square, because remember the area of our square was 4 units squared. Okay? So that means that now we can come up with a shortcut and to determine the area of a triangle. So usually if you're looking at the area of a square, we know that this will be the length and that will be the width. So that would be the width and that would be the length in blue. But when you're dealing with triangles, they call them different names other than length and width. Okay? So here I go again in pink. Instead of length, we can look at this as the base of the triangle. Okay? Then instead of width over here, we can look at that as the height of the triangle. Okay? So if we took our base here, which was 2, and if we took our height, which was 2, we could multiply that 2 times 2 to get 4. However, 4 is the amount of the entire square. We don't want the entire square, we just want half of the entire square. So that means that we have to come up with the formula of 1/2 the base times the height to equal the area of a triangle. Okay? Because we'll go back to our picture, we only are looking at half of our triangle. So the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Now, in future videos, we will be looking at how to apply this formula of base times height, but in the meantime, we will stop there and continue on with our studies.